There comes a moment, raw, holy, and beyond reason, when the version of you that was built to survive finally bows to the one who was born to set fire to silence. And in that breath, shaking, sacred, undeniable, you remember? You were never broken, only waiting to return to the brilliance you buried to belong. There comes a moment, sometimes silently, sometimes with a storm, when you can no longer pretend you're confused about who you are. And maybe, as you breathe right now, you can begin to feel that moment approaching, not with pressure, but with inevitability. Because for too long you've mistaken your hesitation for protection, you've called your numbness safety, but deep down, there's always been that pulse, that aching whisper inside that says, "This isn't all of me." And just by noticing your breath now, maybe even placing your hand on your chest or feeling your shoulders drop slightly as you exhale, you may realize something's shifting, not loud, but deep. Because the truth is, you're not stuck, you're saturated. With unexpressed dreams, unfelt emotions, and unlived potential. You've been holding your power in, not because you're weak, but because no one ever taught you how to contain fire without burning down your life. You've been trained to fear your own intensity, but what if that intensity is your access point to freedom? What if everything that once made you too much was always the gateway to everything you're here to become? You're not behind, you're not broken, you're charged with the very force that can recreate you from the inside out. And this force, it doesn't need permission anymore, it just needs a direction. So take a breath. Not a shallow one to survive, but a deep, trembling one that says, "I'm still here." And as you do, let that breath become an invitation. An invitation to remember that you're still here even after the shame, the silence, and the compromises you made when you were trying to stay safe. You didn't come this far just to cope. You came to remember, to rise, to reclaim, to roar. And as your chest expands just a little more, as your jaw softens and your eyes grow heavier, you might begin to feel something familiar, yet long buried. The grief, the beauty, the rage, the readiness, all rising at once. And you don't need to name them. You just need to let them rise. Because this, right now, this is what transmutation feels like. Not a plan, not a 5-step strategy, but a cellular shift when you stop negotiating with the version of you that was built to survive, and start creating from the version of you that was born to lead, to liberate, to love without shrinking. And maybe there was a time years ago, or maybe just yesterday, when you imagined this version of yourself, strong, sovereign, unapologetic. Maybe you didn't know then that this moment would be the answer to that silent prayer. Or maybe this moment was always calling to you, from a future you were destined to return to. The obstacles in your life, they weren't designed to stop you, they were designed to meet you, to mirror the exact smallness you were meant to outgrow, so that you'd have a choice to keep circling or finally step forward. And maybe now is the moment you realize you already know the way. You always have. It's written in your nervous system, encoded in your bones. And as you feel this tears rising, breath trembling, heat building in your chest, you don't push it down anymore. That's not weakness, that's the armor cracking, that's the old you dissolving. And dissolving is not death, it's becoming. Becoming doesn't look like pretending. It looks like truth, raw, naked, non-negotiable. So let this be your moment. Not tomorrow, not when you're ready, now. Let this be the second where you stop waiting and start remembering that you already are. Let this be where your excuses meet your power, where your old story bows to your soul. Let this be your sacred rebellion against smallness, because underneath the fear, there is fury. Underneath the numbness, brilliance. And underneath the hiding, is the clearest version of you the world has never seen. And the part of you that once hesitated, you can thank it. It got you here. But now, it can rest. Because another part of you is ready to lead. The part that knows how to walk through fire without burning, because she is the flame. He is the storm. They are the return. And they are not coming. They are here. You are here. And you are ready. And if ever you forget, Place your hand where your truth lives, take one deep breath, and remember, this is who you are now, and it's who you'll never unbe.